So yes, I will be the first to admit this podcast thing is becoming an addiction, and I'm okay with that. I guess it's a little bit of an expectation when you do something that starts off small and then tumbles into this big thing that you really and truly love doing. Good morning, hello, good afternoon, good evening. Hi to all those who are listening here, could be listening in other countries, wherever they may be. I welcome you to yet another podcast by yours truly, BT. Must admit, I'm really getting the hang of this now. Starting to learn a little bit more about how to do it, what to do, where to set it up. Kind of might be getting a schedule in place. Going to be working on that. It's slowly being low key promoted. Didn't learn until yesterday, or I'm sorry, today, this morning, that I actually can have a limit on how many of these I can post on on SoundCloud, but not to worry. Any of my podcasts that I have been posting are all going on my YouTube channel. So what will probably happen is that I'm going to be posting these on Spreaker, and once I run out of space, then it's just going to come down to, okay, they're going to be pulled from Spreaker, but they'll still be accessible on YouTube. And as they rotate and get attention and get raving views or whatever the case may be on SoundCloud, then I'll make space according to that. But nonetheless, I just wanted to kind of do this as a breakdown of how my podcast will be set up, because a friend of mine did kind of get me, or a few of my friends actually have been giving me some insight and some helpful feedback and tips, and thank you all to my soul sisters. Literally, y'all just don't know, they know who they are. If you're listening, it's greatly appreciated. I have it set up from right now. As of right now, it looks as though I'm gonna be doing these 3 days a week. Now, I can tell you now, on Sundays coming home from work, and I need to just get in the habit of doing so, of scheduling a lot of time to do so. But on Sundays, I would like to make those my sports podcast. The first thing that a lot of people are going to probably say is, well, you're doing that because it's football. Yes and no. The interesting part about Sundays is that even with football season and even after football season ends, it kind of gives you that opportunity to kind of summarize a good amount of what you have and haven't seen within the sports media and within the sports stories. So I have a few stories. I just need to get them all compiled, and I think this is gonna I'm gonna work this podcast. This podcast isn't gonna work me, and I guess that's the best way I can say it. I truly and honestly believe that this is something that can flourish and grow into something very excellent. It just comes down to, will it keep people's attention, and me just doing my part and keeping it up. So that's my plan. That's my goal. That's what I'm working on, and I'm really and truly pushing to do that and then some. So with that being said, let's jump right into today's breakdown. I did say, like I said, I did mention that I'm going to be doing the sports one on Sundays. My other two podcasts are kind of going to be a unique mixture. And I mentioned this, like I said, I mentioned this to my friend, to my sis. She's on board. She mainly presented it as, one of my podcasts will be on music or gaming. The other one will be sports. And then how I'm looking to do this, I guess the easiest way to say it, because it's kind of like, all right, well, Brian, what are you doing? What's your plan? My plan of how I want to do this is, I want one podcast to just be sports and break down the highs and lows of my personal sports, ups and downs with my teams, and just sports overall, any odd and crazy stories that have happened in sports. I want to get all of those into sports, into that sports grab bag. Music and gaming, I'm not going to put music and gaming into one. Like, if I do a podcast on a specific day, I'm not going to say, okay, I'm going to do I'm going to mix music and gaming into one podcast. What's going to happen is, I may do one that's talking about different artists who are coming out, different artists who had peak points in the industry at that point, Gaming, I'll probably be bringing out blind updates and things that I've been keeping up with, such as awesome games done quickly that a lot of you all may have missed. Excellent stream. They raised a lot of money for cancer awareness. Just things of that nature. So I want that to be that other spin of me, because mostly with me, it's three facets or three pieces of me that most people will constantly hear me talk about, and that's music, gaming, and writing. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about writing on a podcast because that's why I'm verbally talking to you about what I'm doing. So I'm going to plan to make my my music and gaming be its own entity. Sports is going to be its own, and then the third one, which I think will be the best, is kind of going to be what I call my grab bag. It's not going to just be, okay, I'm going to pick a topic and just throw it at you and say, hey, here, take it or leave it. I do plan to get side time make time set aside to either have these be written up as outline topics and then just chip at them and get everybody on board and just kind of make it. I really want to make this an enjoyable experience for not only me as the sharer, but you as a listener. I want you all to really come with any tidbits, ideas, suggestions, ways of making this a better and enjoyable show. If you have any feedback, any criticism, anything that you do or don't like, tell me. My mind reading skills, I've said it before and I'll emphasize on it again, they left me when I was born. So I'm only able to help in ways that you all tell me what you're looking for. So that's kind of what this podcast is. I really don't have a topic that I'm going to jump into today, but I just wanted to at least give you all a generalized idea that I will be doing 3 podcasts a week. Sunday, I will solidly, let's work on English, grammar, something. I will solidly plan to do sports. And I will be sure that I get news from my friends. Yes, Sports Squad, I will be telling you all now, a lot of the stories that come up in the group, I will be giving my 2 cents about, because we have some unfinished business with that top 10 point guard story. If you all don't know about this story, if you may or may not have heard about it, ESPN released a top 10 list, which is ESPN, we'll leave it at that, of their top 10 point guards. And they recently did top 10 shooting guards, which was pretty cut and dry, but if you have time, go on ESPN, check that out. I'll kind of give my 2 cents about that, and just kind of just various topics that have been going on in the media. And like I said, grab bag could be anything from politics. I could go into news. I may surprise you and just talk about personal stories, things that someone may need to hear and just hasn't heard yet. The advantage to this, and I guess this is where having the Spreaker Studio program on my computer really works, is that I can do a lot of these offline and then just throw them to you all, but make sure they're still, well up to date and not, okay, well, Brian, you talked about that, that was something, you're giving news from what happened 3 weeks ago. Why aren't you giving the latest stuff? Trust me, there are going to be some that I'm going to literally do from the hip, like this one that I'm doing now. So just continue to listen in, continue to enjoy any ways of making this a better show, a better experience. By all means, tell, share, don't hide and hold to yourself. Because one thing about me, and one thing I think I need people to understand, is the reason why a lot of us don't grow as a society is that we hold a lot of things to ourselves. And sometimes those things that we hold, somebody else needs to know about it before it's too late or something. So just something to think about, and just something to kind of keep your mind flowing a little bit. I'm appreciative of everybody who takes time to listen to these. I do it because I really and truly love it, because it kills a lot of my time and it keeps me out of trouble. So it's a win-win situation in that regard, and that's just where I'm at. So I truly and honestly hope you all enjoy what's ahead, and just, savor it for what it's worth, and realize that I'm not just doing this just to be doing something. I'm doing it because I really and truly have always had a knack for just getting a message out to someone who needs the message and hoping that, hey, if it doesn't apply to you, it can apply to someone. So that's what I'm going to leave you all with today. Not the longest show, but the simplest show, as most of them may be from time to time. Some of them I may go into tangents, and I gotta literally look at the clock, like, okay, it's close to 20 minutes or whatever the case may be. So, I'll work on that as that time ensues. But until next time, you all take care, be easy, stay positive. Put yourself around, like, the one thing I want to leave you all with at the end of this podcast is be sure that you're around people that understand where you're coming from, and you don't have to spend a lot of energy understanding where they're coming from. We sometimes want people to get us, but then we don't really get ourselves, number one. And number two, the ones who are trying to get us really don't invest that true time and energy into getting us. So that's what I want to leave you all with today. Like I said, continue listening. Check me out. I'm going to push to get these more promoted on my other sites that I have not been using in a while. And until next time, this is BT signing out. Peace.